Yeah, I haven't seen the full detail of the report. I've seen the headlines of it, and obviously government want to see house prices moderate and return to a level where they're affordable, and that's why it's so important, particularly in the current situation, that we continue as a state to invest in housing. This year we'll invest over €6 billion in housing, in affordable housing, continue to ramp up the First Home scheme, which has been really successful in helping people purchase homes, no less so here in Fingal. But look, we need to accelerate delivery. We know that. I think under the last administration, we were able to deliver over 130,000 new homes, make a real impact with regard to vacancy, bringing vacant stock into use. The phenomenon that we're seeing in relation to continuing increase in prices is not unique to Ireland either. We have a housing supply across Europe, a housing deficit, should I say, across Europe. I was looking with interest as well as with regard to Australia, which is mentioned quite often in the Dáil. People talk about Australia and people leaving to move to Australia from a housing perspective. Very serious situation with housing there as well, which will be central to the general election in Australia. And I just say that by way of example, that these are not issues that are unique to Ireland, but certainly we want to see house prices moderate. It's important that we continue to accelerate the delivery of particularly first-time buyer homes, continue to roll out cost rental housing, and to continue to accelerate the delivery of really good quality social housing, which we were able to do in the last 5 years.
We want to see house prices moderate. Like, I've heard you use that soundbite. I've lost count of many times I've heard you say that over the last number of years. I've viewed houses recently which are selling 50% over asking price. Like, what's the government doing here?
Well, you see on the second-hand market, it's very difficult for a government to control prices in a second-hand market. Let's be straight about it. And you'll also see within the DNG report, it's down to a lack of supply, particularly in the second-hand market. We have a high-income economy here. We have full employment here as well. We're seeing mortgages being granted at record levels, not the level of mortgages themselves, but the number of mortgages being granted. So, it is competitive, particularly in the second-hand market. What we're also seeing, and what you haven't alluded to there, is more first-time buyers buying homes now, last year and this year, than we've seen since 2006, using the facilities that the government brought forward, the last government that is, supported again by this government, such as the First Home Bridge the Gap scheme, such as the Help to Buy grant, significant supports that are worth on average €100,000 to first-time buyers. And would remind people as well, those supports that the main opposition party, and indeed all of the opposition, would abolish. And would make the situation far worse. Yes, it is still absolutely challenging, unquestionably so, but that's what the importance of supply and continuing to use every lever the state has to deliver homes for our people. It remains the number one priority for this government.
Does the second-hand market need to be more regulated? Like, I have lost count of the amount of estate agents I've seen advertise houses for an asking price that is then sold for
I know. It's a big
50% over.
Look, a big frustration for people who are bidding within that market. I know that the Minister for Justice and the Department of Justice are chairing a group with regard to conveyancing and how we might be able to improve not just the speed of conveyancing, the efficiency, but the transparency around the bidding process. That's something that is being worked through between the Department of Justice and the Department of Housing at the moment.